multiplication of terms involving radicals begins with an inspection to notice how many terms would be inside the parentheses that will be multiplied by the other term. In this case, we have two terms, each of these involving a radical, being multiplied by another term, one of which has a radical in it. If we approach this much like we approach the FOIL idea, it helps us keep track of what we're doing. So with FOIL, we recall that the first two terms are multiplied, that being these two. As we are beginning to learn the process, we might simply write them down in order: 6 radical 3 times 2 radical 5, and go on to examine the next term. We would add the first times the outer, in other words the outer terms, again writing them in order: 6 radical 3 times 4 radical 2. Our inner terms result in the product negative 5 times 2 radical 5. And the last term is also negative 5 times 4 root 2. Having completed our process of considering the first, the outer, the inner, and the last products, now we need to use commutative and do the arithmetic that we can. For instance, 6 times 2 is 12, and we recall that when we have the same index, in this case a 2, which is unwritten, we can combine the product 3 times 5 for 15. Continuing in like fashion with each of the terms, 6 times 4, 24, radical 6 minus 10 radical 5 minus 20 radical 2. Our final step would be to look at the individual radicals to see whether they can be simplified or combined with any of the others. In this case, we notice that they do all stand alone, and therefore we have our answer containing 4 parts.